also the issue of our summit that we had, which was held this weekend, and also the issue of regional task teams. Basically, those are three critical areas that we want to present on. Take us through. Over to you, leadership.
Thanks, Sam. I will deal mainly with the issue of Itala and the establishment of the regional task team, and the comrade coordinator will deal in much detail with the issue of the KwaZulu-Natal Alliance Local Government and Service Delivery Summit that was held over this weekend. Members of the media and fellow South Africans, thank you for joining us this morning. We convene this media briefing at a time of both concern and renewed hope for the people of KwaZulu-Natal. We are here to address these critical matters: the future of Itala Bank, the recent establishment of the regional task team, as well as the summit that is just completed on Sunday. On Itala. Itala Bank has for decades played a vital role in supporting the livelihoods of the most vulnerable and historically marginalized communities in our province. It was established not merely as a financial institution, but as a developmental vehicle to empower township and rural economies, support small businesses, and provide accessible banking services to those excluded by the mainstream financial sector. In recent years, Itala has faced a number of governance and regulatory challenges, and these include serious concerns raised by the Prudential Authority and the South African Reserve Bank, culminating in legal action that placed this bank at risk of forced liquidation. This would have posed a devastating threat to the economic futures of thousands of families and small businesses across KwaZulu-Natal. Faced with this looming crisis, may I say a catastrophe, the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, under the leadership of the province, has engaged in decisive and as a provincial convener, together with Comrade Mike Mabuya Kulu and the collective leadership of the ANC, have engaged directly with the Minister of Finance, Enoch Godongwana, to seek a sustainable solution. Our intervention was firmly aligned with the ANC's developmental agenda and our firm responsibility to protect institutions that uplift our people. We are therefore pleased to report today that following these extensive engagements, a breakthrough has been reached. Itala will not be liquidated. This excellent outcome is a result of the ANC's leadership, proactive governance, and very deep commitment to safeguarding the institutions that serve the economic needs of our people. While this is a significant and welcome development, we do recognize that much work still lies ahead. To ensure the long-term viability and sustainability of Itala, the ANC proposes practical and actionable steps, including strengthening the governance and internal controls within Itala, enhancing compliance with national banking and regulatory frameworks, exploring strategic partnerships that preserve Itala's developmental mandate, launching a turnaround strategy that is focused on transparency, accountability, and performance, ensuring continuous engagement between the provincial and national government structures to reposition Itala as a developmental finance institution. The ANC firmly remains committed to preserving and transforming our institutions that aligned with our vision of social justice, of equity, and inclusive development. In line with our broader renewal and rebuilding program, the ANC Provincial Working Committee has also finalized the establishment of the ANC Regional Task Team in all the 11 regions of KwaZulu-Natal. These task teams consist of capable, disciplined, and committed cadres who have demonstrated unwavering loyalty to the movement and a capacity for organizational leadership. They are entrusted with restoring stability, unity, and a renewed sense of purpose within all our structures in the ANC and the broader alliance. We are very proud to announce the inclusion of some of the leading leaders of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, such as Comrade Don Gumede from eThekwini region, who is a seasoned and respected organizer with a wealth of political experience. Comrade Belinda Scott, former MEC for Finance and Deputy Mayor of eThekwini, known for her professionalism, leadership, and clean governance. Comrade Zet Luzipo from Moses Mabhida region, a very principled trade unionist rooted in the struggles of workers and community development. Comrade Natim Dladla, a long-standing and respected ANC activist and leader with a very distinguished history in the liberation movement and within Umkhonto weSizwe Liberation War veterans. This team will spearhead our efforts to rebuild the ANC's organizational machinery at all regional levels, restore member confidence, and reignite action that is rooted in community service and revolutionary discipline. We remain, as the ANC, steadfast in our resolve to serve our people of KwaZulu-Natal with honesty, with discipline, and with humility. The ANC will continue to defend institutions like Itala and lead internal renewal processes with agency and with courage. Let us work together to build a KwaZulu-Natal that is just, that is united and prosperous, in line with our values and vision of the African National Congress as we celebrate 70th anniversary of the Freedom Charter.
Well, thank you very much, Mahlase, Comrade Pungane, the convener. Let me then address the issue of the outcome of the Alliance Summit. The ANC and its alliance partners held a successful local government and service delivery summit on Saturday and Sunday of this past weekend here in Durban, bringing together delegates from across KwaZulu-Natal who were in excess of 500. The ANC, together with its trusted allies, the traditional leaders, activists and progressive formations, emerged from this historic summit united, determined, and inspired to restore the dignity of the local government sphere across the province. Delegates from all 54 municipalities in this province attended the summit, including those municipalities led by the ANC, those whom we govern with other parties through coalitions, and those where the ANC serves in the opposition. The summit acknowledged, with a sense of urgency, the crisis that many municipalities in this province face. The summit also recognized that deep-seated political and administrative challenges have weakened service delivery, undermined public trust, and delayed the advancement of the communities. The discussions underscored the significant financial challenges faced in various municipalities, raising concerns about the management of taxpayer funds and the need for improved accountability. Specifically, there were mentions of cases where reports of potential conflict of interest, such as a case where a district municipality was able to sell its water tankers to a local mayor in a supposed auction, and that the said mayor is now a new owner of a water tanker that was sold from a district municipality. In that regard, this new owner, supposed owner, is now being a supplier of water tankers to the same district. Delegates noted that there appears to be a very focused and concerted campaign to selectively target ANC-led municipalities when addressing allegations of maladministration or challenges in leadership, to the exclusion of municipalities led by the ANC's political competitors. In this regard, the posture of the KwaZulu-Natal Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, shortly known as COGTA, is seen to be hugely and overtly partisan, with its executive authority leading the charge. The summit reaffirmed its commitment to clean governance at the local government level, and those found to be acting ultra vires of the law should be dealt with decisively, irrespective of political affiliation. The summit further resolved that this selective and partisan approach in overseeing municipalities must be addressed as a matter of agency. The summit also raised grave concerns about grants that are intended to enhance service delivery and to uplift communities, which too often end up being surrendered back to the public fiscus. This occurred because some municipalities failed to use the funds effectively, or worse, diverted them for inappropriate uses, which is an unacceptable betrayal of the peoples they serve. The ongoing unfair and discretionary grading of municipalities and officials remains a significant concern because it endangers their ability to fulfill their mandate. There are numerous instances where certain officials within municipalities are paid at a higher scale than their municipalities' grading. Additionally, cases of inconsistent remuneration amongst officials performing the same roles within the same municipalities are emerging in some of these municipalities. This issue causes instability and may lead to industrial action, and it leads to general demotivation amongst municipal workers, thereby undermining the execution of municipalities' mandates and hampering service delivery. The summit called for standardization and an open, transparent framework for grading municipalities to address this challenge. And among other measures, the review of the local government white paper process that is currently underway will be employed to tackle this problem. And amongst others, the summit resolved as follows. First, to restore political and administrative stability. The summit felt that it needs to put to an end to the crisis of unstable councils and administrations. In this regard, the summit said by August 2025, every municipality, whether led by the ANC or governed through a coalition, or where the ANC is in opposition, all of these municipalities, 54 of them, should adopt concrete measures for stability. These include filling in critical vacancies, aligning integrated development plans, and in our case, we want to see the fostering of harmonious labor relations. The second issue is strengthening financial management. The summit resolved to reject unfunded budgets, wasteful expenditure, and delays in paying service providers. In fact, the summit insisted that we should stick to the 30-day period of payment for service providers, except in cases where there are issues that are standing. The ANC, therefore, will intensify the legislative oversight and enforce accountability and support struggling municipalities to adhere strictly to the 2024 procurement regime. The focus will be on prioritizing maintenance, repairing aging infrastructure, and rebuilding public trust. On the issue of accelerated delivery, the summit resolved that as the summit will prioritize the improved provision of water, sanitation, electricity, housing, and waste services. The ANC will launch a provincial service delivery plan and convene a special water summit to improve the provision of water to communities. This is one of the matters that the summit lifted up as one of the critical challenges that we have throughout this province, the issue of water provision. The summit then will partner, the ANC will then partner with all strategic sectors, including traditional leaders, labor, business, civil society, and the communities, to build a seamless and a collaborative service delivery across KwaZulu-Natal. The summit also discussed promoting local economic development. The ANC is prioritizing the revitalization of economic hubs across the province. In our view, all municipalities should prioritize sustainable local economic development projects and partner with national and provincial departments to unlock jobs, drive growth, and foster economic recovery for the benefit of all. The summit also discussed the review of the white paper on local government, which is currently underway, and where all South Africans have been given until the end of this month to make their submissions. The ANC and its allies will make submissions in the review of the 1998 white paper on local government to deepen democratic local governance. We will advocate for a transformed, accountable, and fully funded local sphere, the one that serves communities, the one that restores trust and delivers on its constitutional mandate. The summit resolved that the Alliance will deposit a submission into the white paper process before the scheduled deadline of the 30th of June, at the end of this month. We declare unequivocally that the ANC will tolerate no corruption, no nepotism, and no action that compromises service delivery or betrays the trust of our people. This applies in every municipalities, those we govern outright, those we govern in coalition with other parties, and those where we are in opposition. We remain a movement of the people, by the people, for the people. And working together with discipline, integrity, and an unshakable commitment to our historic mission, we will build a capable, ethical, and developmental state that delivers a better life for every citizen of our KwaZulu-Natal. Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. It's time that we take hands. We will have the first set of hands, and then we take the second set of hands. Can I check if there are any questions? Number one. Number two. Okay. Makan.
Good afternoon. My name is Simpiwe Makanya. I work for SABC TV News. The question will be split in this order. The first one will be directed to the convener, and the second one will be directed to the coordinator. To the convener, how much time have you given the regional task teams to be able to take regions to conference? And to the coordinator, it seems to me that the department, which is led by an IP employee in Reverend Buthelezi, is targeting ANC-led municipalities, according to what you are saying. Are his actions risking the stability of the GPU in KwaZulu-Natal?
Covered. Okay.
Well, on the issue of the time to take, let me be specific that when the National Executive Committee appointed us as the provincial task team in February, they gave us a time frame of about 9 months to rebuild as well as to renew the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal. So our main priority as it is now is on rebuilding and renewing the ANC. As we said repeatedly, that the ANC house has burned. So we need to rebuild this house from the ground, root and branch, brick by brick. Now that we have established all the 11 regional task teams, their responsibility is precisely that to ensure that all our branches are alive. So that's our number one priority. When all that has happened, together with the fact that we've got a new membership system, so our organizing department, not only at a regional level led by Comrade Hlakani Pontombela, but at a national level led by Comrade Mdu Manana, a member of the National Executive Committee, will be working together to ensure that every member of the ANC is in good standing in line with the new membership system. When that has been accomplished, then we can be able to talk about regional conferences. So in other words, our main preoccupation was to make the ANC alive again. Our main preoccupation, as the coordinator highlighted, the summit, is our people. That is why we had this local government summit this past weekend to prepare for the local government elections next year. So our interest is to serve the people. Thank you. I think Ndiema will talk about COGTA.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Pungane. Well, let me start at one element on the issue you're raising. The appointment of the RTT is based on a very comprehensive program of action. And that program of action, we have already also crafted a roadmap. We will be presenting that to the formal structure of the PTT next week, Monday. And immediately thereafter, we will then announce that complete program of action. So what I think Pungane is stating is something that we already have. So the appointment of the structure comes at the end when we have already put into place a program of action. But coming back to the issue you are raising, the issue we are raising first and foremost, and we want to be heard and heard very, very well and clearly. We appreciate that the MEC of COGTA and COGTA, the department, have got a legal responsibility that has been entrusted to them by law. And we want them to execute their authority without fear or favor, without prejudice. But we also want to be able to say that there must be consistency in the application of the law. Our problem is not about the application of the law. Our problem is about the inconsistency in the application of the law. All we're asking for is that there should absolutely be no ways in which certain municipalities, which are ANC-led, get to be deliberately targeted. Because in that regard, you are no longer applying the law consistently. And we have raised this issue, and we're going to be raising this issue, both bilaterally, but also within the GPU. Because our position is very clear, that we do not want to compromise the incumbent, who is the MEC, nor the Department of COGTA from executing its task as entrusted by the Constitution, and as well as the various pieces of legislation in local government. So our issue is a clear issue. Don't become inconsistent in the application of the law.
Can you check if there's any follow-up or new questions? Makani?
Last one for me. On the issue of Itala Bank, particularly to the convener, because this is the one who spoke about it. In your engagements with the minister responsible for finance, what exactly did he agree to do that will prevent, Itala from being declared insolvent, if I may use that term, I forget the exact term, but that's my question. Liquidated, yes.
First of all, let me emphasize this issue of Itala in the sense that one of the most important considerations that made us, as the leadership of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, to move with speed in terms of this intervention is that around March, we paid a courtesy call to His Majesty the King Misizulu, who told us that we need to save Itala. So for us as the ANC, who are rooted in traditional leadership, as you know, that one of the kings of KwaZulu-Natal, His Majesty King Dinizulu, was an honorary president of the ANC when it was founded in 1912. That message from His Majesty the King Mrs. Zulu, we regarded it as an instruction. So our meetings with the Minister of Finance has culminated in a decision that he has made to rescue Itala by issuing a guarantee of all the depositors of Itala, regardless of how much they've deposited there. But all those details about the nitty-gritties of it, National Treasury as well as the provincial officials in these coming days will be finalizing them. But the big ticket issue of the future of Itala has been resolved completely and to our satisfaction. So all depositors of Itala in KwaZulu-Natal, wherever they are, in the deep rural areas of KwaZulu-Natal or in townships, their monies are saved, and this Itala will continue to operate as it has previously, but now with a renewed focus on the integrity of processes, ensuring transparency, ensuring ethical disbursement of funds, as well as proper methods in line with the Reserve Bank regulations.
Well, I think let me add through you what Bongani has said. And I think just to sharpen the point that Bongani has made very clear, in terms of the agreement that we have reached with the Minister of Finance, he will now provide a guarantee for all depositors, rather than only for those whose deposits are up to 100,000. So the initial indication that the minister could only provide a guarantee for those depositors who are up to 100,000. Now the new arrangement then says all depositors will be given a guarantee, which is, we regard this agreement as a game changer, because in its essence, what it does, this agreement therefore removes the presence of the Prudential Authority, which still means that the Prudential Authority will have to cease its liquidation action against Itala SOC Limited, because we must be clear we're talking about Itala SOC Limited. So this then also then puts into very clear perspective the issue which is a pending matter. In other words, there is an appeal that the repayment administrator, the RA, was granted by the Pietermaritzburg High Court to appeal that judgment. The Prudential Authority lost the liquidation action, but then they succeeded in actually taking the appeal to the ACA. In terms of this agreement, that now, if the RA continues with that appeal, it will now become an academic exercise, because it will have no bearing in affecting the operations of Itala going forward. So for us, this is our victory, because it's a victory of the people of KwaZulu-Natal, because it is also a victory for the unit of purpose. And as Bongani has indicated, everyone from His Majesty the King, all political parties and all political formation in this province, in particular, those who are represented in the legislature, were all unanimous in taking one common position, that we will not allow Itala to be liquidated or closed. But it was left to us as the ANC to take this baton and to be able to stand on the side of the people, which we have said from day one when we were appointed. And we are almost very proud as the ANC that we have stood firm on that commitment, that this matter of Itala should then be resolved in a manner that, first of all, protects the interest of all depositors in Itala. But we don't end there, because this is phase one. As Bongani has indicated, the next phase is a phase where we'll be putting forward a strategic plan with options for positioning Itala as a financial institution for the future. And as the ANC, we intend to pursue this by crafting our own plan, but our plan will also then be discussed with our partners in the government of provincial unity, because it is important that this matter is one matter where it unites all of us. And therefore, we will pursue the future of Itala based on the unity of purpose with those with whom we govern this province.
Thank you.
Yes,
Oh,
my concern that is yeah.
I'm Colonel Milana from my work job. My question is, by using the Itala Bank, do you think you could regain the supporters of the ANC, because you quite lost a majority of your supporters? Thank you.
But can I be the first one to come in, Pungana, and you can add? The ANC is very clear, and we are clear from day one when we were appointed as the provincial task team, that ours is about the issues of our people. And this is one of the issues of our people. And we are not dealing with this issue of our people solely because we think it is going to give us votes. We are dealing with this issue of our people because it affects the rural women that have deposited their money into Itala. It affects the poor farmers that have deposited. It affects the savings clubs that have deposited. It affects the township dweller. It affects each and every one who was unbanked and where they were banked through Itala. So for us, it's a far more deeper issue than the issue of political gain. But of course, when our people see the good work that we are always on their side, it will be a reasonable expectation that our people will know that the ANC cares and the ANC will always stand with them in times of difficulties. Bunga.
You want to follow up? Okay, let's take that as oh, there's another hand. Let's take the follow up and then start the witness.
So do you think that the people in KZN will still have faith in the ANC, regardless of the issues that has been going on?
Okay, right. The question is noted.
Yes, thanks. My name is Clive from the Witness newspaper. My apologies, I arrived late, so I might have missed some of the things, and my question will be maybe in the statement that you have just read. I just wanted to check, you mentioned a lot about the work that you are doing around the Itala Bank, but maybe what I missed is at the center of all this issue is the license. So that's why it cannot continue as a going concern. So what was agreed on the issue of the license? Because they currently don't have the license, and if I heard the convener correctly, he said that Itala will continue functioning. Maybe can you just clarify on that?
Is there any other hand so that we agree this at the last? Okay, no, it's fine.
okay. Do people have faith in the ANC? The answer is a big yes. But we acknowledge that the last year's election results, both nationally and provincial, were a wake-up call. That is why we are reconnecting with our people. We are connecting them not with words, but with action. Since our appointment, we've prioritized issues of unity. We outline the results of the local government summit. That summit was not merely a local government summit and service delivery of the ANC, but all our alliance partners, the SACP, COSATU, SANCO, and other progressive formations were in full force here in Durban, discussing those pertinent issues of how to improve delivery of services to our people. And with the establishment now of the regional task team in all the 11 regions, all those leaders and activists will leave no stone unturned in connecting with our people. We have also, since February of this year, engaged with very important stakeholders to reconnect with them, starting with His Majesty the King, Misizulu, and other traditional leadership in KwaZulu-Natal. We have met with religious formations and leaders of all persuasions, Jewish, Muslim, traditional, including charismatic churches. We have met with civil society, the intelligentsia. So all these activities have demonstrated to us that the people still love the ANC, so we are returning back to the people. As we have consistently stated as well, that our main preoccupation is not card-carrying members of the ANC, are our people, our voters out there, because we all know that at the end of the day, the people who vote are not only card-carrying members of the ANC, but the majority of people out there who cherish our policies. So that is our commitment. So to answer your question directly, I still believe that the people have faith in the ANC. On the last issue of Itala, that's why we said that the main threat of the total liquidation of Itala has been averted. It will not be liquidated. I want to repeat. Itala will not be liquidated. It has been saved. So going forward now, those are the steps that now have to be taken between National Treasury and the officials of KwaZulu-Natal to make sure that all those identified weaknesses in Itala are addressed, so that at the end of the day, Itala must be beautified so that it must have all the prerequisites of a financial institution, including getting a license. As you know, in previous occasions, they were operating in terms of an exemption from the Minister of Finance. So the big assignment now begins of ensuring that we put Itala in a state that will be able to operate like any financial institution. So we'll appeal, therefore, to all those who are responsible for the administration as well as the oversight responsibility of Itala to leave no stone unturned in ensuring that all those requirements are met with speed, because our people can no longer afford a delay in these matters.
Well, I think Bungane has made his point. I won't comment on the first one. Bungane was well said. I think it was fine. Truthfully, people have faith in the ANC. That's all I can say. And anyone who have been able to see the functions, the last one being the ANC's Youth League event that took place at Carisfontein on the 15th of this month. Anyone who was there must have seen that the people have faith in ANC as one particular anecdote. But I think Bungane covered that very well. On the issue Itala, he covered it too. But I think I want to add to this element. When we say this has been the first phase, because the second phase is looking at those options and how we can position Itala better going into the future. And we do take that there now needs to be able to, we need now to put a strategic plan with options because the option is about what can we want to, how do we want to reposition Itala? And that we as the ANC have our own ideas. And we will be able to input those ideas through the government of provincial unity, as I've already said. So it's very clear to us that going forward, we all would want to have a better, well-repositioned Itala. Thank you.
Colleagues, if I say Eminimuzo,
We're done.
we are definitely done. So we won't be doing justice if we do not thank you for responding to our call. Your continued support is highly appreciated by the African National Congress. Please ningasi kodwa uma sinicela nihlale nje nivela njalo, siyabonga kakhulu. Uwaqaphela ama-by-elections ikhona into eshiwo abantu nge-ANC. Okay. We will then allow a situation where if there is a need for a one-on-one conversation with the leadership on certain issues that you may want to clarify at a close range, we will allow that as well. But for now, thank you very much, colleagues. Siyabonga kakhulu.
Thank you.